So my friend and musical partner Christa had been telling me for years that she wanted an SG, and I started looking around for them. I never really had a lot of experience with them, and also then my friend John and a person I've been playing music with for ages, Jonathan brought played a gig with us the other day, and he brought an SG, and I got re-intrigued, and so I started looking around online. The Gibson ones looked kind of expensive, and I'm cheap. I should cut that out probably, but started looking around for the best alternatives, and everyone online said the Epiphone SG Standard was a really great guitar. So I sort of bought one on impulse, and then I decided it was for Christa, sort of as a way to justify purchasing it. But also, I wanted to get her one, and so I ended up giving it to her, but not before I fell in love with it a little bit, and so I started looking around for other ones, and found this one on eBay. After discussing with my friend Ethan what kind of SG we would actually want to get, he suggested maybe I get the modern version because it's got the coil splits, and so that's what I was looking for on eBay. I found this one. It was a little cheap. I wasn't really sure why it was so cheap. With a hard case, it was $400. With pretty cheap shipping too, like $35. Not bad. And I was like, well, I don't know. And then one night, I woke up. I woke up in the morning and discovered that the previous night the seller had offered it to me for $375. And I was like, okay, I'll take that. So I bought it for $375, and it's brand new. It's this year's model. And like I said, it is the modern version, which gives you the individual coil split with the volume knobs. Interestingly, a lot of manufacturers do that with the tone knobs, but they're doing it with the volume. So this one, the volume knob for the neck pickup here, if you pull it up, it gives you the coil split for that, and then the volume knob for the bridge pickup here gives you the coil split for the bridge. The other thing the modern version gets you over the standard one, or different from the standard one anyway, is you also get these Grover locking tuners here, and you get different color options. This one is not available on the standard, and vice versa. The one I got for Christa is the classic old red finish, which I actually prefer. If I could have gotten this in that red finish, I would have done so. But this is pretty as well. It's got the line down the middle, like pretty much all guitars do these days, because I guess nobody has a piece of wood that wide, and maybe that's easier to dry them this way too, so they don't warp. I don't know. They didn't match it up too well on this one. It's not too bad, but it's not great. I've seen worse, but I've also seen a lot better. And I kind of enjoy the contrast of these clear knobs. It's kind of cool. And the Grover tuners feel incredible. They've got almost no slop in them at all. They really feel like very accurate machines. And it's kind of nice to have the locking feature, I guess. It means you have to wind less string on when you're changing strings. I don't really care that much about that particular feature. Two of my guitars now have that. The other one is the other Epiphone you see there in the background, which has a very interesting story, but that's for another time. Anyway, this guitar arrived, and I wonder if this is why it was so cheap, with unplayably low action. So I got that sorted, and then I discovered the intonation was bad, so I got that sorted, and then I discovered a couple of the frets were popped up, so I got that sorted, and now it plays really well. And I'm really enjoying the variety of tones you can get out of it. I of course, also put a brand new set of strings on it, which also transformed the tone, of course, because the strings that were on it were probably the original ones that came on it. This guitar was bought in March of this year, along with the hard case, which looks brand new. I mean, they both look basically unplayed as far as I can tell. I also while I had the strings off, went ahead and oiled up the fretboard with some lemon oil, which I like to do. Anyway, let me show you some of these tones you can get. I think it's got quite a impressive variety here. Start with just the clean tone middle pickup, humbucking, both coil taps pressed in here. Got this sort of bouncy tone, reminds me a little bit like a, I don't know, old classic Bo Diddley or something. Also get that sort of classic jazz sound out of it like that. Then, of course, on the bridge pickup, you get more of a biting tone. And then, of course, on the neck pickup, you got a slightly fuller. Nice warm tone. I'm playing this through a Hot Rod Deluxe with kind of everything right down the middle. EQ in the middle, presence about in the middle, reverb a little above the middle, bright off. So it's a kind of neutral setting on the Hot Rod Deluxe. Now we can move to the coil splits here. One of the fun features of this, to me, is that you can split the coils individually. So if you want to get, just the bridge pickup, you can hear that's very different from with the humbucker. And then single coil. You can get almost like a country twang there, you've got... Got a lot of different tonal options here. So now we'll go to coil split on the neck pickup here. Pretty classic, nice, warm single coil tone. Not quite stratty, but close. And then one of the things that I think is really fun. So I'm gonna I'm gonna split both coils here. Not tap. That's different. If you don't know, coil tapping is when the winding is sort of run out partway through, so that you can get just part of the winding or all of the winding, depending upon how you split it, how you set the switch. Coil splitting is when you take a humbucker and you wire it so that you can have just one of the coils or both coils. So the difference is one or both coils versus part of one coil versus the whole coil. So this is coil splitting, not coil tapping. Anyway, so right now I've got both coils split and the pickup switch in the middle position. So we should have 2 single coils together here. I feel like that's a nice neutral tone for playing chords, you know? But what you can do that's kind of fun is you can split one and not the other. So this is, now we've got a humbucking neck pickup and a single coil bridge pickup together, and you get this kind of interesting sort of hollower tone. And then if you reverse that, so now we've got a single coil bridge humbucking, single coil neck humbucking bridge here. I rather like that tone. Pretty cool. Another thing that I forgot to mention earlier, is I raised the pickups up to be pretty close to the strings. What I usually do there is I go all the way up to the top here, and I make sure all these notes can be played in such a way that the strings do not rattle against the pickup. And then I put it down just a little bit more, and then I adjust the bridge pickup, usually I like it to be just a little bit closer to the strings, so that when I when I go to the bridge pickup for a solo, I get a little bit of extra gain by virtue of the pickup being just a little closer to the strings. That's all a matter of preference. Anyway, as a result of that, these pickups are much hotter than they arrived. So it really rips on the distorted tones here. I'll just go through a few of them for you here so you can hear. Overall, I think this guitar is very versatile, very fun. I think it looks great. I did have to put quite a bit of work into it to make it playable, which was a little disappointing. It might have been just a bad example from the factory. Maybe that's why the guy sold it to me for so cheap. Because, I should have had to pay close to about $700 plus shipping for this brand new guitar with that hard case. Instead, I paid $400. So I got a good deal. I certainly got a good hourly wage because it only took me probably an hour and a half to get this all set up. But I don't know if that lack of attention to detail is typical or not. It might not be because the guitar Christa got was totally fine. I think most Epiphones come with in better setup than that. So it's probably just a fluke. The only thing that concerns me about it at all really is the 2 frets that were popped up, but that could have been, the previous owner could have stored it funny or done something bad to it. I don't know, but it doesn't look like it. Cosmetically, it's perfect. Overall, I'm happy.